hate it. Lift the taboo, get rid of it, take the shame, take it somewhere else, because more than likely we've all had some kind of experience. So, yeah, and those are things that people just don't want to talk about, and those are things that I'll probably tackle at some point.
It's great. I mean, I'm a big fan of truth-telling, and sometimes it's gotten me into trouble.
Yeah?
But I think I really agree with you. I think that lifting the shame is, by talking about it, is absolutely the best way. And I think it's really great that you're able to put it in a, not only just write about it in your own personal experience, but turn it into, storytelling, so well done.
Thanks.
Good on you.
I just wanted to remark on the feel and the lushness of this $35,000. I mean, do you agree? Wasn't this important to live in a place like the Grove?
It's a beautiful
And so
place.
my question would be, where is this place? And as we all know, looking for locations, how in the world did you secure this location? Because it is extraordinary.
It's in Carpinteria, and Susan Flannery, who some of you might know from The Bold and the Beautiful, is one of our directors on Venice, and I brought her in as a producer. She's retired or not retired from. She's trying to be retired. Okay, but she said, I want to do this and I want to produce, and I said, okay. And this happens to be a friend of hers in Carpinteria, a wonderful woman named Maria. And Maria in Carpinteria. Avocado plantation. But it has that beautiful man-made pond and all those beautiful hills. A lot of roosters. And my friend the fly that was on Jordan's shoulder. Did you like the fly? It was good. You couldn't paint him out. He's buzzing around. But yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful location. We also shot in part of LA is that?
We shot in Molly Malone's, right there off of Fairfax, I think. Yeah, and that's when you go into Molly Malone's, that's the other bar, and that was a beautiful area, and it's all for their. If we had panned the other way, you would have seen their stage for all the independent acts that come in, and that's their back bar, and it was extraordinary. We actually did a Venice music DVD, and I went to see the venue, and I texted Crystal and I went, I think I found the bar, because it was literally, he opened this giant panel, and here's this old-fashioned bar, and I went, wow, that's really cool. So it was really cool, and the cameras that we use are amazing too. Yeah.
What kind of cameras are you using?
Those are Panasonics for that one, and they're just the SLR cameras, and they do for every take. I think it does 12 minutes of pure HD. Every time you hold the thing down. So, obviously 12 minutes for a take is plenty, and then you can edit together after that. So, and they're little. You can carry them anywhere and do anything with them.
Do you do it onto a card and then download it?
We download, yeah, we do it onto a card, and then we data wrangle that into a Mac, and then that we actually do all the filing for it, and then that was done on Final Cut Pro, and the color correction was done on DaVinci.
Do you have a big lighting setup? Because a lot of it seemed, it's beautiful lighting, but it seemed like very kind of clean and spare. What was your lighting for the show?
We rent from Coyote out in Los Angeles, and that actual RDP Kevin Perry, he's a gaffer for Castle, and so he makes the lighting, he does the lighting order, and he also helps light with it. He's got a guy named Zach, who is a trainee of his, and they really set it all up and know the right lights to bring in. And they're good at bouncing too. Like when we're doing the outdoor stuff, when they were their wedding, there was a lot of really technical bouncing going on to try and make sure it had a really cool feel to it.
It was very interesting to see how it stretched on this screen. What kind of format did you shoot it for 4x3, or what size format did you use?
It's 1080 by yeah, 1080p, yes. So it's pure HD. And it was edited in pure HD too. So it actually has the ability to be a Blu-ray. We just haven't gotten there yet. But
what's your production time from, you said Crystal was saying you shoot in 5 days, and then what's your edit time like? Like, do you have enough time to edit? Do you have a week of editing? Like, how much pressure do you put on yourself for your turnaround in terms of production?
I think we definitely gave her a few months. We gave her time. We started on the 26th of August, I think. No, August. And delivered, well, it was end of November, I think. Because we gave the directors a cut, and that was I'd never done that before, and I'm a big believer in letting the directors put together their idea of things. So we did that first, that was the first cut, and then we went back and made our adjustments and gave our notes. And so it took several months, at least 3 months.
Is that normal, or is that just for the pilot? Like,
That was just for that. Venice, they might have 8 weeks. Yeah, but there are 12 episodes. You're talking about, 15-minute, 20-minute episode. And it's once a week. So we're actually, while we're rolling out Venice, we're working in post. We're putting the music in. Every week, you're back at work, and then the episode rolls out. So with this, we had to get it all done, obviously. With Venice, we have that week of time.
That was the other thing, was the rendering of putting together a full 70 minutes like that in Final Cut Pro. Had no idea it was going to take that long to render. I mean, it's like 6 and 7 hours once you put your edit together to render it after you make corrections. It was unbelievable because we were used to, I should say, was used to Venice, and it doesn't take that long to render once you put things together. And this thing, I mean, that poor computer was just trying to it was struggling to get it down, so it was pretty interesting.
it's almost a full-length film, you know? I mean, you're 20 minutes away from a full-length film, you know? I mean, do you ever consider that? Do you think about moving into film?
Exhausted. I actually it's not out of the realm of possibility, but I think the 20 minutes for a web series is actually really, really good. And this was a lot of fun for us. And when we go to make The Grove, the series, we'll make 20-minute episodes. But this was a fun thing to do, and it was a fun pilot to make. I think that's kind of where we are.
I'm going to ask Katie, if I can have your microphone for the audience questions. And let me say, if you've got a question, please raise your hand, and this is going to come to you. But I do have a question for you, Katie. You're like amazing. So would you like to take over the MC at maybe one of the other 2 venues the rest of the weekend? I'm loving this. Thank you so much for being on this panel. Can we give Katie a big round of applause?
Yeah, I have a question. Yes, and Katie is pretty amazing. You mentioned that we're talking about doing 20-minute episodes online rather than 6-minute episodes. 20 minutes, for those of us who have worked in broadcast television, we know that that's essentially a half-hour show on broadcast without the commercials. Recently, we've seen House of Cards show up on Netflix, all 13 episodes at the same time. How do you feel? I mean, really, I guess my question is, what is your take on the new delivery systems that are happening now? The way our content is king, and you said 6 minutes, people said that's not long enough anymore. We want 20 minutes, which demands more story, more character, more development. Be that as it may, what is your take on what our obligations are to meet the new criteria, which is essentially moving away from the traditional delivery and becoming what it is, what we're seeing now? And we're kind of in that little gray area in between, but I think it's been really solidified by House of Cards, and the fact that you've been essentially told you have to do at least 20 minutes in order to make it worth our time to watch.
With us, I will roll out an 11-minute episode if those 11 minutes hold. I'm going to do what feels best in terms of what's right for the story. And our episodes ran from 11 minutes to 26 minutes. It just depended on what story was in that particular episode and what held. I think it's interesting with House of Cards, rolling out all 13 at once. I'm fascinated by it, and I want to see what kind of feedback they get. I don't know that much about it, honestly. But people will tell me it was too short. People will tell me it's too long. People will tell me they were bored out of their freaking minds. People will tell me everything, and I love them for it.
I just want to ask a quick question. I looked up your Twitter there. I noticed you got about 38,000 followers on your Twitter. How many subscribers do you have for Venice? And does that number, how does that add up compared to your 88,000 views? And if it's a little different, where do you think those other views are coming from?
I think because people don't have to pay for it, it's coming from a wider audience, the Grove. There's definitely the issue of the Garden Wall, and people just not wanting to go through the process of putting in their credit card and username and password and things like that. We have over 18,000 subscribers for Venice. And the way we rolled it out was a $9.99 subscription. And that doesn't change, and that hasn't changed from the very beginning. What we've laid into it's for the entire season. So the first episode is free, and then the subsequent 11, you're paying basically under $1 per episode, right? But we added in the feature of pages where you can gift a friend, because some people just don't have the $9.99. Or you can pay as much as you want, which is kind of what Radiohead did on, I think it was Amazon or iTunes, which one did it? So they can go in and they can pay $9.99, they can gift a friend, and then they can, or they can give us $25 and buy a t-shirt, or we have sponsorship packages going from $25 to $1,000. And, I had one lady in 1 month donate $4,000. And you get a personal email from me, or you get a phone call, you get merchandise, and you get credit at the end of the show. And that's what that was. Those sponsors are gold members that paid that $1,000. So that's how we've been doing it.
We're going to have to wrap this up, but we want to thank you very much for coming and sharing the Grove with us. And on behalf of the Macon Film Festival, I'd like to present you our Maggie Award.
Thank you so much. And I hear you're sponsored with this.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
So thank you. Thank you.
It was a pleasure. Thank you all.
Cynthia's got a workshop tomorrow at 1 o'clock on casting. Katie, tell us when your next screening is.
Oh, our next screening is for How We Got Away With It, which is John Lindstrom and Jeff Barry's film. I was a small part of producing that. Is tomorrow at the Douglas Theater at 6 o'clock. We really hope that you come. It's a wonderful film.
Thank you all for being on this panel. I wanted to tell y'all two things. One, there's an after party at the Library Ballroom, and if you walk out of here, you can follow the crowd. Secondly, Crystal is doing a book signing at headquarters. So if you'll walk out the front door, take a left and another left. If you'd like her book and her signature, please go to headquarters and take care of that business. On behalf of the Macon Film Festival, thank you so much for coming, and we look forward to seeing you